everyone, this is me again, me and Tosha, as you can see. Welcome. Good to be with you again. Thank you very much for all the viewings of my previous videos. They are not very huge so far, but as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm hoping that you like this method of communication and that you will still enjoy my next videos. I had few nice comments from you telling that you are really looking forward to seeing my next videos. So I believe that I will continue to make another videos. And many thanks to those of you who told me that I look very nice in the videos. But believe me, this is not how I look every day. This is exceptionally for you. I'm putting on makeup, I'm trying to do something with my hair, I'm trying to dress up nicely, so you would have a nice view watching the videos. As you can see, Tosha is totally taking over the video, but I will try to tame her in some way. Recently I asked a question, what would you like to see in the next videos, and you replied with many possible answers, but I decided to go with the suggestion of my very dear friend. Hello, you know who you are. And the next few videos will be about each separate season of Downton, meaning that in each next video I will talk about one of Downton seasons. And today I will be talking about season 1. As probably most of you, I have seasons of Downton Abbey that I like more and seasons of Downton Abbey that I like less. Season 1 is one of my favorite seasons. It's not my absolute favorite because my absolute favorite is season 3, but season 1 is very close. You can see that Tosha is totally taking over this video, but I hope that you don't mind. So, let's talk about season 1. What I love the most about season 1 is the clothes, the hairstyles of early 20th century. It's so beautiful. All the ladies, especially Cora, but also all other ladies, are looking very beautiful in those still Edwardian dresses. I love these clothes of the early 20th century. I like those clothes much more than I like the later clothes style, which is not very flattering to women. But this season 1 look is, for all the ladies, is really amazing. I love it. One of my favorite clothes in season 1 is the outfit that Cora wears in episode 5 of season 1 at the flower show. The white coat and the white hat. This is absolutely exquisite. I love it. What I also noticed, staying in the lane of talking about clothes and general appearance of the ladies, I noticed how different Mary and Edith look in season 1 comparing to season 6. In season 1 they are hardly wearing any makeup at all, and this is definitely not the case in season 6. And I'm wondering why. Maybe because in season 1 they were still, very young women living under the supervision of their parents. So maybe that was the case, that they didn't use makeup as much as in the later seasons. Tosha, really, sorry. But really, this is, you have to deal with it, as I have to deal with it every day. So, I told you about the clothes, I told you about the makeup. What was I supposed to tell you yet? Oh, right. So, let's just focus on season 1. So, season 1 is very fantastic because normally in other series we don't get to enjoy season 1 as we just starting to get to know the characters. We don't have any connection with them yet. The plots are in different series are definitely not that good in season 1 as they are in the later seasons. But it's not the case with Downton Abbey, because with Downton Abbey we are falling in love with Downton because of season 1, because the season is so good and is getting us so hooked that we are watching it being totally in love with the series. So I will tell you just a few words about all the episodes, and I'm not going to give you some details because I'm thinking that if I will still continue to make the videos, maybe one day I will do a separate video for each episode where I will be able to discuss the details of each separate episode, but for now I will just go smoothly through telling a few words about each episode of season 1. So, episode 1. Episode 1 is great because this is how most of us fell in love with the series. We are getting to know all the characters. The episode starts with the news about the Titanic crash, and we get to see the difference between upstairs and downstairs. We see that upstairs people are supposed to dress beautifully, have a lot of fancy dinners, a lot of fancy parties, and generally to do nothing and have a great time. And as a contrast to that, we see downstairs characters who have a lot of work, and their main goal is to let the upstairs characters to have fun. So this is the crucial difference that we see in episode 1. I love the dynamics of episode 1 because, as I told you probably in my first video, we see the beautiful contrast between the quiet morning of Lady Mary, who yawns lazily, while downstairs there are people running like crazy, trying to be on time with mending the fires, with preparing the breakfast, with ironing the newspapers. So this is beautifully, we immediately see what the show will be about. We see that we will see the show about two totally different kinds of people. And of course, I think that already in episode 1, we get to know who is the good character. Oh, you see, this is my cat. This is what she does. She's biting me wherever she can. Okay, let's get back to Downton Abbey. We get to see who is the good character. We get to see who is the villain. We already have like our favorites in episode 1, so this is a great episode. In episode 1, we also find out that the main problem for the Crawley family is that they don't have a boy, they don't have a male heir. So there will be no one to take over the title and the castle in the future. So they are trying to make their oldest daughter to marry the heir. We know that Mary is engaged to Patrick, who dies on the Titanic. And as Patrick dies in the Titanic, there is a wondering or worry what's going to happen next. So I think that first two episodes, episode 1 and episode 2, is mainly focused on the problem of the lack of male heir and the general wondering who will marry Mary. I still don't get, and I said this a lot of times, why they were so like devoted or obsessed with the thought that that Mary is the one who should marry the future heir, not, for example, Edith or Sybil, because I think that it wouldn't make any difference who would marry the possible heir of Downton. Would it be Edith or Sybil? It wouldn't make any difference if they wanted to keep the castle. But I believe that this was the custom, that the oldest daughter was supposed to get married first, and this is the reason why they were pushing Mary to marry the future heir. So episode 1 gives us the general glimpse. Mr. Bates is coming to Downton. We see that Anna probably falls in love with him from the first moment. We get to see all the downstairs and all the upstairs people. Great episode, really. I loved it. Episode 2. Episode 2 is also interesting because Matthew and Isabel are coming to Downton and we get to know them better. We see that Isabel is trying to be okay with the new situation. She's trying to stay positive about the changes, but it's definitely not the case with Matthew, as Matthew is being grumpy, unkind about this whole thing. He doesn't want to live there, he doesn't want to be the heir, he doesn't like the fact that they are having servants. So this is like the main plot of episode 2. I like the two scenes of episode 2 the most. One of them is when Matthew and Isabel are arriving to Downton and they are being greeted by Robert. I'm still wondering why he said, "This is Carson, we will be lost without him." I don't understand why he introduced Carson to them first, instead of introducing his mother, his wife, his daughters, but this is something that I will always wonder about. But my absolute favorite scene from episode 2 is the grizzly bear dance, which takes place downstairs, because this is one of very few moments where the downstairs people are having fun. We don't get to see a lot of that. So I absolutely love the grizzly bear dance scene. Episode 3 of season 1 is an episode which changes everything, because till now the biggest problem was for Mary to marry someone important, and in episode 3 we get Pamuk, and Mary goes to bed with Pamuk. I'm not going to get into the details whether she was forced to that or she wasn't. There are very different opinions about that, so I will not get into this. But the fact is that this situation changes everything. From now on, it's no longer about getting Mary married, but it's a question of Mary ruining her reputation totally, which makes the whole set of difficulties for her to find a proper husband. So episode 3 definitely changes the whole situation in Downton. Then we have episode 4. Episode 4 is fantastic. I love episode 4, not only because of the town fair, but mostly because we see some glimpses of Elsie Hughes' past, and I absolutely adore Elsie Hughes and Charles Carson. They are my favorite characters. So anytime there is something more about them, I'm happy. We see her past suitor, her fancy man, as Daisy was making fun of him, Joe Burns, who comes to Downton to propose to Elsie. And she wonders whether she should take him or not. I'm not particularly surprised that Elsie had a suitor in her past, because Elsie is a beautiful woman. She's beautiful. in her character and outside her character. Phyllis Logan is also a beautiful woman. I admire them very much, her. But the scene that I love the most in episode 4 is the scene where Elsie tells Charles about her meeting with Joe Burns, and that he proposed to her and that she wondered what to do. Why I love this scene? Because this is the first time that I noticed that there is something more between Carson and Mrs. Hughes, because I noticed how insanely jealous Carson was. His eyes are openly telling that he's really frightened with the perspective of losing Mrs. Hughes and her possible, leaving Downton. So, I love this scene. Episode 5 of season 1 is the flower show, and this is a great episode because we get to see this whole competition between Violet and Isabel, with Isabel being pushy and trying to, make it her way. I know that some of you don't like Isabel very much. I'm pretty okay with her. I think that she was a good balance for Violet, because until Isabel arrived, Violet was doing whatever she wanted to do and there was no one to stop her. But Isabel has effectively done this. So I like it very much. I like this whole competition between them. And I like that at the end of episode, Violet led Mr. Mosley to win the flower contest. And also we see that the competition between Mary and Edith are going really rough. And the episode ends with the scene of Edith writing the letter to the Turkish ambassador. And you know what this started, you know how that affected Mary's future. Episode 6. Episode 6 is also great because we see Sybil and her fight for women's rights. I love early Sybil and her being the women's champion. I love that. I hated that they changed her into an obedient wife later, doing everything what Tom wanted, and not having her own opinion. I didn't like that at all. But unfortunately, it's often the case in real life too, that fighters for women's rights are becoming obedient wives. But this is a great episode, and the scene that I remember the most about episode 6 is the scene where Matthew rescues Sybil after this whole meeting where she is injured. And there is a short moment between them, a special moment where she has like a little crush on him and she's looking at him at this very special way. And there is a short moment where I thought that there is going to be something between Matthew and Sybil, and I later found out that Fellows intended to put those two together. They were supposed to die together in one car accident at the end of season 3, because back then Fellows already know that those two actors are only committed to be in the 3 seasons of Downton Abbey. But this was later changed, then Sybil and Matthew were never together. And the last episode is episode 7. And episode 7 is absolutely, I think that this is the best episode of season 1. The main thing that I would want to change about Downton Abbey is Cora and Robert losing their baby boy. That was the saddest scene, and if I could change it, I would want them to have their baby boy. But of course, it would change the whole dynamics of the series, and this was not possible because the series was to revolve around Mary. Mary was to be the center person, which I'm not very crazy about because I don't like Mary. So if they had their baby boy, he would be the heir, and Mary would be pushed away. So that was not possible. But that was a really sad scene when we found out that Cora lost her baby boy, and Robert was crying because he knew it was a boy. So that was really, really sad blood. But we have also Mrs. Patmore and her cataract operation. We have Anna going to Mr. Bates' mother to find out something about his past. I liked it very much. I liked the whole, plot. And we have fantastic fight between William and Thomas, very nicely done. We don't get to see a lot of physical violence in Downton Abbey, and that's good. I like it. But this fight was very, very interesting. And the whole episode ends with this memorable garden party, which is beautifully done. It looks like some kind of Renoir photo, beautiful picture, not photo. And we are saying goodbye to season 1 in the moment where Robert finds out that World War I has just started. And we already can predict that this will affect another season, which is season 2. Okay, I was going to make a short video, and here I am talking to you for 22 minutes. Sorry about that. If you are bored, you can just fast forward. But I hope that you liked this video a little bit, and if you did, I will again ask you to give likes, to subscribe my channel, to share this video wherever you want to share it. I will be grateful for each of these. Thank you very much for being here with me and my beautiful sleepy cat Tosia. And see you soon. Bye.